Just do your work, please. I have to go back and zap my pea ram.
Oh!
All right, welcome back to another School Principal Reacts. My name is Brandon, and I'm a high school principal from the U.S. state of Georgia. Due to the viewer requests, I am taking another look at some episodes of iCarly. This one is one that comes up in the comments a lot. It's called I Promise Not to Tell. I don't really know what happens in this or what they promise not to tell or anything. I have sort of gotten to know the characters a little bit from the one episode that I've done. Many of you iCarly fans have called for more episodes, and there's a short list that keeps coming up over and over again. So I am going to do those, starting with this one here today. Just a reminder, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Let's go.
And look what I'm gonna hand in today.
You finished your history report?
No, I finished the greatest history report in the history of history reports.
Nice. So, what's it?
Don't touch it! Sorry.
Okay.
I just have to keep this report looking absolutely perfect.
Yeah, so she's holding physical papers here. When this show was produced, I think this was like 2007 or so. But you had computers, of course, you had word processing, you had all of that. You had online submission of reports, but it wasn't really common yet in schools, particularly public high schools. Nowadays, you would never do this. You would just send it to the teacher or put it in a certain place on Google Drive a lot of times, or Google Classroom. You would never hand in a physical printed typed report. Now, if you're writing by hand, that might be different, like some practice, but a lot of times students just do not hand in printed reports. But I do remember these days when that wasn't an option at all. You really had to print it out and bring it to the teacher. And so I do remember thinking, oh, okay, I've got to keep it looking perfect and I don't want it to get messed up in my book bag. Yeah, I do understand that.
If I get an A on this, that means I'll get an A for the semester, which means I'll have straight A's on my report card for the first time ever.
This resonates also with me. She says she wants to get a good grade on this report, so she'll get an A in the class, so she'll have straight A's. I've known many high-performing students that do think like this. They're trying to maintain a certain average or a certain GPA or a certain record of straight A's or nearly straight A's, and so they really agonize over each assignment. And it's good to make good grades. It's good to strive for that. But sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they don't really value their learning, but they value the grade. And that's a whole nother conversation about the role of grades and whether we should be emphasizing those or emphasizing the learning. It's just that with many students, you don't get the learning without the grades, and it's a question about motivation, but that's a conversation for another day.
And subsequently, this was interpreted as a violation of their rights to freedom of religious expression, as granted in the Letter of Majesty issued by Emperor Rudolph II in 1609.
Mr. Devlin!
No, I will not slow down.
Ooh, okay. So this is her history class. And nowadays, you wouldn't have this, a teacher just talking very quickly using a whiteboard only. I've talked before about the role of lecture style teaching, and you do have to do some of that sometimes. But in schools that are effective, the days of just long lecture sessions are kind of phasing out in favor of other more engaging strategies. So as far as this guy goes, you really wouldn't see this. Now, I remember this style of teaching both in high school and college, and you do have to really pay attention because the teacher may say something that is on the test, and you have to make sure you get it down. And even during this era, the teacher would say, well, this is going to be on the test, so write it down. And everybody would really, not freak out, but really focus on whatever it was. Nowadays, you do have note-taking sessions, sometimes not for an entire class, but for a shorter period. And you would have it projected on the board or on a smart board or in a Google Classroom folder or in a presentation format like a PowerPoint or Google Slides. And you just wouldn't have it like this where the teacher is speaking very fast. And he says he won't slow down. Why wouldn't he slow down? Doesn't he want them to get the information And that goes back to teacher attitudes. I have seen this sort of attitude before, not so much anymore. It's kind of, again, phasing out. But no, this does happen, but thankfully not so much anymore nowadays.
This leads us to the calamitous event, which serves as a daunting precursor to the ignominious defenestration.
That, and he's describing these events using high-level vocabulary, and you want to use that in class some, but it's for the purpose of the students learning that word, and you might focus in on one or two particular words, particularly if they are somehow linked to the content that you're teaching. But in his case, he's just going on, speaking very fast, and also using unnecessarily complex vocabulary to describe what he's saying. It's almost as if someone challenged him to deliver the content, but in a way that makes it least likely that the students will actually get it and understand it. There's the bell. Yeah, they're all relieved.
I've graded your reports so you can pick them up on your way out.
Okay.
Awful. Hideous.
You would never say that. This guy needs to be fired or non-renewed or something. He's handing the reports back and says awful, hideous to the students. Yeah, that's going to prompt a parent to call the principal, and the principal have to talk to him. Would he be fired for that? No. But if he keeps doing that for a long period of time, yeah, he could be non-renewed for sure. And by the way, that term, if you don't know what that means, teachers are hired year to year. So being non-renewed means you're not fired, but you're just not offered a new contract at the end of the year. Teaching contracts are usually for 1 year only.
Bad. Terrible.
Come on, man.
Congratulations, Carly. Your report was outstanding. The best in the class.
Really?
Didn't
That's
get an
so
A, I
great,
bet.
'cause you gave me a B? But I thought you said it was the best in the class.
It was, but it was printed on 3-hole paper, which I hate.
Dude. The reason he gave here for giving her a B is the quality of the paper it was printed on. He's not supposed to be grading that or the appearance of the paper. Now, granted, if you're turning something in, a report like this, even back in the day where everything was printed no matter what, you do kind of want to make it look nice. And I did a so-so job of this back in school. I would try to make mine presentable, but I remember particularly some girls in my class that would always deliver their reports in these report covers and a nice little jacket to them. I probably should have done that too. They make it look very presentable, but because the paper has the 3-ring holes in it, he gives her a B. No, that would never happen, and that would definitely prompt some complaints.
Then just let me reprint it for you on paper that's completely hole-free.
Reports can only be submitted once. Silly little truffle.
Oh,
But this means I'll get a B+ for the semester.
Yes. Congratulations.
dude, this guy is sadistic. Now, have I met teachers like this? I'd be lying if I said no. Teachers that you wonder, like, you do want to help students, right? Like, it's almost like they enjoy it when students get punished for something or have something negative happen to them. It's almost like they're like, hey, I like that they experience this negative thing. I have met teachers like that. Now, they are fairly few and far between. Most teachers are not like that. Even if they are a little more firm, they're not like this guy is, where he's enjoying the fact that she can't turn her paper in again, and which is, by the way, his own rule. He could let her print it out and turn it in again if that was really a big deal, which it shouldn't be a big deal. He's not supposed to be grading that. He's supposed to be grading the quality of her writing. And he himself said, your report was outstanding, but you printed it on this particular paper, and so I gave you a B. You can't do that.
I'd like to punch 3 holes in him. That's what I'd like to do.
Ooh, okay, yeah. You got to be careful about that. You got to be careful. That's going towards a threat against the teacher. You really have to be careful. And sometimes there's a nuance to it. In other words, saying you'll do something, saying you'd like to do something if a certain scenario happens, or saying if this person does this, then I will do that. You really get into the parsing of words sometimes and semantics But yeah, if someone heard her say that, that would probably get her in some trouble. Would she be expelled or something? No, but she might face a suspension or an in-school suspension, depending on the school handbook. Thankfully, no one heard it.
Tell you what, on the next iCarly, we tell everyone to go egg Mr. Devlin's house.
Okay, yeah, you can't do that either. This episode is going to be full of things, I guess, that you can't do without getting in some trouble. So yeah, they have a popular web-based show. This is before the days of YouTube, or maybe you just couldn't say it was YouTube on here, but they have a online show. And so if they told people, hey, go egg his house, and it's online, right? It's public. And then people actually do it, they could have some level of liability for some damages. I would think that's not really my area of expertise, but I would think they would have some sort of liability. If you tell someone to do something and they do it and they cause harm or damage, yeah, that could be a problem for them.
Nah, he'd probably like it, because eggs don't have 3 holes.
I told you not to take his class.
Yes, thank you, Freddie.
Yeah, and Freddie says, I told you not to take his class. Students in high school do have some level of choice in the classes that they take, but as far as their academics go, usually not. Depending on what state this is, she probably does need this history class in order to graduate. And so most students, they will try to do this. They'll try to say, I don't want this teacher, I want that teacher. For history, it might be the same course and they'll request a particular teacher, but you can't do that. The teacher you get is the teacher you get usually, because you need that course is what you need. You need that particular credit for graduation. Now, electives, it's different as far as if you're taking a particular track or pathway or elective, other things that you are interested in, and that's why you're taking it. Those you get to choose, and you work with your counselor to try and get you into the class that you would like to take. And electives, you do typically need those to graduate, but you just need a certain number of them, and they can be any class that you'd like to take that count as electives. And electives, that whole word, to elect to take something, that's what it means.
Well, if it isn't my straight A little sister, to celebrate your straight A's,
Oh, no.
I'm making you a giant egg!
Principal Franklin?
Principal
Never here
Franklin.
for a regular Tuesday appointment.
Send her in.
Yeah, I like Principal Franklin. I remember him from the first episode. He was pretty good. The secretary buzzes him and says that someone's here for her regular Tuesday appointment. And that does happen both formally and informally. I'm wondering which one this is. There are 2 scenarios. So one, the principal may ask to check in with her once a week or whenever, because she struggles. Most commonly, she may have some serious behavioral issues, which based on this character, I could see maybe she does need to meet with the principal once a week in order to keep her on track, so to speak. He may need to just check in. Now, most commonly, he may just visit the classroom and pull her out of class for a moment, just to check in on her. A regular standing appointment might be difficult for this principal to keep, or it just may keep her in class for longer, not having to pull her out for this extended period of time and go to the office. Or there are students who they may not have a regular appointment, but they're always in the office asking for certain things that may or may not be entirely necessary. And so it may be just sort of a joke almost. They're here for their regular appointment, even though they don't have an appointment. They're just always up there.
Good morning, Sam.
Morning, Ted.
You don't call the principal by his first name. I don't know Principal Franklin's first name, Ted. You don't do that. And the look on this guy's face, he probably didn't ask for that or say, hey, call me Ted. I don't see that happening.
What trouble have you gotten in over the past week?
Okay. So this is the first scenario I mentioned, a check-in session. And this does happen. This is absolutely 100% real, where you might have a student who is struggling with a number of things, either behavior or academics or attendance or something happening at home or weird family situations or all of the above sometimes, unfortunately.
Let's see. I got yelled at by Miss Briggs for getting an F on a quiz.
Why did you fail the quiz?
I didn't know the answers.
Next.
Oh, I got kicked out of the cafeteria for slapping Gibby with a piece of pizza.
Ooh.
Why did you slap Gibby with a piece of pizza?
I found it on the floor. I wasn't going to eat it.
Okay, yeah, that would get her in some trouble. Probably get her suspended, not just kicked out of the cafeteria for hitting somebody with food. Yeah, that's a problem.
Excuse me, Principal Franklin. I am trying to enter the report card grades into the system, but it's not letting me log in.
Well, you can log in using my username.
That would be wonderful.
Ooh.
Yes, let's see if it's working. Sam, just sit quietly and try not to break anything.
No promises.
Okay.
My username is Big Teddy.
Big Teddy.
Uh-oh.
My password is corncake21.
Okay, I see here. She overheard that. And this is why you don't do that. Every school district I've ever been at, network security is very, very important. It's becoming more and more so with various hackers and other people that do target the school. Hackers actually will very often pretend to be people that work in the financial office, people that work elsewhere in the school. I've had people pretend to be me, and they will email the teachers and say, hey, I need you to go buy this gift card. It's for an event, right? It's for an incentive for a student or something for a trip we're taking. I need you to go buy this gift card and send it to me. And it will look like my name. It'll look like my email address, but it won't be me. Obviously, I would never ask someone to do that. But some of these people are very clever. And as far as your password, it's no problem for him to log into the system in order to see if it's working. But most people, you would have your computer where the person sitting can't see it. I have mine, for instance, where I can see it, but I can also turn it for the person to see it. Like if we're looking at a report together, if I'm meeting with a parent on grades, but they can't see what I'm typing if I don't want them to. This guy has it where everybody can see, and he says his password out loud, which you would never say. Even if he wanted to give his secretary his account password, which you shouldn't do, he can solve this problem in other ways. You would just write it down. But again, I wouldn't even do that. But I certainly wouldn't say it out loud with a student in the room. You always got to be careful what you say if there's a student in the same room.
Wait, I spilled some syrup on my tie. Do you know anything about removing stains?
Yes, I took a course on stain removal in community college.
Stain removal.
Sam,
Okay,
I'll be
here
back
we
in
go.
5 minutes.
Have fun with your stain.
All right. He not only enters his password, says what it is out loud in front of her, then leaves the room while his computer is logged in. This is like everything you don't do when it comes to password and network security. Okay. Is she going to change her grade? Okay. And is she going to get caught? Okay.
Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Is this about that new bacon flavored bubble gum? No. They have that? Yeah. But just tell me what you're all whipped up about.
First, you gotta swear you won't tell anybody.
I swear.
No, you gotta ankle swear.
And here's the premise for the episode. This episode is called I Promise Not to Tell. So I'm guessing she's going to promise her that she's not going to tell that she probably changed some grades in the school's grading system. And this is going to cause a little issue for Sam and Carly here.
Okay, go. I swear.
I wonder when they did this, how many takes that took. They couldn't have done that on the first try. That's a pretty interesting promise there.
I changed your grade in the school's computer.
Hmm.
You changed us!
And they're going to find out about that. It's just a matter of time. And if she really did that, that could possibly get her put out of the school potentially and placed into an alternative school program, depending on what she actually did while she was in there. A minimum, that's a fairly hefty suspension. That's changing someone else's academic record, which is very serious.
Why'd you do that? So you'll get the straight A's you deserve.
Mm,
You changed my B plus to an A plus. And I changed 2 of my D's to B's. And I even bumped up one of Freddie's grades.
yeah,
I owe him $40 and I figure now we're even.
Sam.
You know you deserve straight A's.
Yeah, but not this way. I
true.
gotta go tell Principal Franklin.
You can't. You swore we shook ankles.
Uh-huh.
Well, can I at least tell Freddie? Why? Because this involves him too.
Dude.
I'll make him swear not to tell.
Yeah, and good for her for knowing that this is wrong and not wanting to leave it that way, but she promised not to tell. So now she's stuck in this situation. Does she betray her friend's confidence, or does she keep it a secret, but knowing that she's kind of complicit in this wrongdoing here?
We have to come up with a way to fix this without telling on Sam.
If I could get access to the school's network, I could do it from my laptop. There's a T5 jack in the computer lab I could tap into.
No.
Okay, tomorrow.
Yeah, he would never be able to do that. Whatever information system is used to enter those grades, it's usually very secure. Now, if they have his password, though, I suppose they could do it pretty easily.
Tomorrow in class, I'll distract Mr. Wembley, and then you can go do your techie fix-it stuff.
Now, everyone, please complete exercises number 7 and 9.
What about number 8?
I'm in charge!
Yeah, and I've seen classes where the teacher will have the students do particular problems or questions, and sometimes it's just because they want to control the number of examples or practice problems or whatever they're doing here. This looks like maybe a computer science class. I don't know what this is, but he says, I'm in charge. Or it may be that he's targeting a particular standard of this course, and question number 8 just didn't have them do what he wanted them to do that aligns with that standard. Or maybe it was just random. I guess we'll never know.
Just go.
Pencil sharpener.
Mr. Wembley, I have a question about my computer.
Yes, Carly?
Sounds.
Hello, Mr. T5 line. You're about to get ready.
And they don't need to do this at all. If they have his username and password, that's really all they need. If she was able to do that from the principal's computer, they should be able to do it from elsewhere also. I don't know what he's doing here.
What's your question?
Why are there 2 shift keys?
Just do your work, please. I have to go back and zap my P RAM.
Oh!
Oh.
Oh, what happened? Did I faint?
Yes, are you all right?
It happens all the time. It's no big deal.
Oh, all right. Just gonna go back to my...
No, dude. Have her see the school nurse. If a student faints and she says, oh, it's all right, you want to have her checked out at some point. You don't just say, it's nothing, or call the parent at least and say, hey, your student fainted during class. Do they really do this all the time, or were they faking it? Or what? You wouldn't say it like that, but you would want to get to the bottom of it. If the student doesn't do this all the time, maybe you should get them checked out by a doctor.
My desk.
Oh!
And at that point, you know it's fake. If she lifts up out of her seat like that. I mean, if someone faints, they're just going to fall over. She lifts up from her seat and falls over. That's pretty funny. I don't know what that is.
Okay, generate.
I love the Pear computer here. It's not an Apple, it's a Pear. That's pretty funny.
Sweet. We're past the school's firewall, which gives us access to everything.
Yeah, I don't think he would be able to do this here. I don't know what network security was like during this era, and I'm not an expert in that area either, but all he needs is the password that they already have. They just log in, and they're in, and they can do the same thing that Sam did in Principal Franklin's office. I don't understand why they're going to these great links here.
Man, look at all this information.
Hey,
Mhm.
look, it's Principal Franklin's birthday today.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, whoa. Is that the lunch menu for this week?
A couple of things. So the lunch calendar, I mean, they would post it online for everyone to see. But as far as changing it, I saw this on an episode of Ned's Declassified also. This is not something that would be in the school's database. I mean, the school cafeteria manager or nutrition manager would just decide what it is and then post it on a school calendar or on a poster or something, but it's not as if you can go in and hack it and change it. That's not how it works. It says this note about it being Principal Franklin's birthday would never happen. It says install special toilets on Saturday. Even if you did need to do some sort of plumbing work at the school, you wouldn't put that on there. You would just call the people and have them come do it. I don't know why someone needs to put that in a school information database. That doesn't make sense.
Would it kill anyone if we changed spinach to tater tots?
Uh-oh.
Tater tots it is. Okay, here we go. Student grades. Scrolling down to Shay, Carly.
Uh-oh.
CSA! Put your hands where I can see them.
CSA.
Officers! Who are you guys?
Computer Security Agency. Step away from that laptop.
Security agency. Okay, all right. And I'm no legal expert, but even the police themselves, they can't just bust into your place like that. He says he's a security agency, which means private company. So he's committing some crimes probably by just busting in here with a flashlight. I don't know why he needs a flashlight. And I guess they've somehow traced this. It's all kind of wild, but let's see what happens.
We were advised that there was a breach in your school's computer network this afternoon, and we tracked it back to your wireless uplink.
Uh-oh.
You two, we're in a whole lot of trouble. We're going to need to speak to a parent or a legal guardian.
Spencer!
I am in the bathtub.
Are we under arrest?
Are you gonna take us to juvie? They're gonna take us to juvie!
Okay.
This
There's
just doesn't
Principal
make any
Franklin.
sense. I've been
And he would not go to their house. Okay. So these people, they seem to be from a private network security firm. And you don't bust into people's houses. But even if they found, hey, there's something wrong, and we did trace it to this particular IP address, I'm assuming they can do that. They would just meet at the school. I mean, he would never go to their house. They would just meet at the school and go over whatever they needed to go over.
been their school principal for 3 years, and I am telling you, Carly and Freddie are very well-behaved students.
Look, somebody attached that wireless uplink to your school's T5 line, and we traced it back to this location.
Have to tell them. We can't. I promised Sam and you promised me. But they're gonna... A promise is a promise. But a promise is a promise.
Carly, Freddie, these men insist that you two were trying to hack into our school's computer network.
We did
They were.
hack into the school network.
We did? We did.
Carly,
Why?
Well, we wanted to know when your birthday was.
Right. We heard it was today.
Another lie.
We just wanted to be sure.
So we could give you a present.
There, you see? I told you these kids wouldn't be up to anything mischievous.
Okay, so even if that were true, which it's not, of course, they would still be in a lot of trouble. If they were somehow able to compromise the school's information database or the school's information system, they would still be in a lot of trouble here.
So, what did you get me?
Uh-oh.
You said you had a present for me?
Yes. Wait here.
What?
Happy birthday!
Oh my goodness, a microwave oven?
Yep,
1,100 watts.
it's a good one.
Well, just heard our report cards were mailed out yesterday.
Great. So that's it then. No changing our grades back.
I feel dirty.
Hey, Carly. Hey, Fredward. What's your guys' problem?
You are.
We tried
Uh-oh.
to change our grades back, and 2 goons from the computer security agency showed up at my house. Did you guys rat me out?
No.
We had to lie and give away my microwave oven.
1,100 watts.
Well, look on the bright side. There was a screw up in the cafeteria. They got tater tots.
They did it too.
You made us lie to Principal Franklin.
To keep your dirty little secret. I feel so guilty. Look, I promise it gets easier. Soon you'll be able to lie and feel nothing at all.
Oh, it's terrible.
Hey.
you liar!
What?
You said you weren't.
Oh, yeah, because he knows. She had already told him that she didn't get A's, and now the report card comes home with A's. He knows something's up here.
Gonna get straight A's, but you did.
Yeah, well,
Oh, he's not mad.
Report cards came in the mail?
Yeah. I guess Mr. Devlin gave you what you deserved after all. I'm so proud of you.
You should be. She earned that grade.
yeah, whatever.
Kind of. So she probably should have gotten an A because the teacher said that the only reason he gave her a B was because of the paper, which is ridiculous. I would have just complained to the principal or had her parent go up there and complain that, hey, the teacher said this is the only reason that he gave her this B and it wasn't because of the quality of the writing. That might actually work for her. But instead, Sam hacked her grade or changed it. You could argue she deserves it, but not in the way that it ended up happening.
Ooh, and check it out. I've almost entirely rebuilt your A sculpture. It'll be a permanent reminder of what you did.
Ain't that the truth?
And I called Dad, told him about your straight A's.
No.
Yes. And he told me to go out and buy you this.
Uh-oh.
It's a big TV for your room.
Oh.
Yay.
Oh.
Hi.
Hey. What up with the hoodie and sun?
Can't sleep.
You look horrible.
Thanks. Girls love hearing that.
I didn't mean
It's okay. I know I look horrible. I didn't sleep at all last night.
Yeah, because she got bought a TV for getting good grades, which she didn't really earn. You could argue she earned them, but that's not what she received. And so she got it through illegitimate means. And then with the sculpture and Spencer telling her dad about the A that she got, yeah, I could see that bothering her.
the report card thing.
Yes, the guilt is killing me.
I know, me too.
And like it wasn't bad enough, Spencer put a gigantic new TV in my room. How can I sleep when I got 42 inches of high-def guilt staring at me all night?
High-def guilt.
Hey, girls, come here. You made the top 10. The
Uh-oh.
honors list.
Yep.
The honors
You
list.
pushed.
That's going to be probably the straw that broke the camel's back there with the honors list that she shouldn't be on because, again, they changed her grade illegitimately. So I suspect she's not going to be able to hold this in much longer. Let's see.
Karen Yamakawa right off the list.
Congratulations, Carly.
Uh-oh.
4, 3, 2.
I'm Sam. And I'm guilty.
Carly.
And I'm Carly.
And this web show now comes with twice the comedy.
And only half the fat of a regular web show.
Yeah, she can't do her program because she feels so guilty. And so this is the whole premise of the entire series, this iCarly show. She can't go on like this, obviously. She's going to have to come clean. All right, here we go.
Carly, I was just...
I have to tell you something.
All right.
I changed my grade in honors history because I thought I deserved an A. Then I felt bad about it, so I tried to change it back, but the CSA stopped me before I could, and then I lied to you about your birthday, which I really didn't care about at all.
Oh.
So you want the microwave back?
That's just perfect. So he looks all disappointed, and I thought he was going to say, "Oh, Carly, I'm disappointed," but he says, "So you want the microwave back?" Like he's been enjoying it at home, and he's disappointed that he has to give the fake birthday present back. That's perfect.
No, you can keep the microwave. But I feel terrible about this whole thing, and I just want to make it right.
I see. And you were the one who changed your grade to an A in the school's computer?
No.
Yes, sir.
Because Freddie just told me that he was the one who hacked the school's
Uh-oh.
computer and changed your grade to an A.
Which is also not true.
Okay, it was me, all right. I hacked the computer and I changed the grades.
Now that I believe.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, he knows that Sam is prone to other things, and he probably remembers her being in there when he was carelessly calling out his password out loud in front of a student, which you wouldn't ever do. But now he is kind of putting things together here.
And the only reason they didn't tell on me was because I made him promise not to.
Yeah.
And I was wrong to do that to a friend.
So, are we in trouble?
I get to keep the microwave?
Uh-oh.
It's all yours.
Then I think under the circumstances, you and Freddie are off the hook.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I was about to say that, you can't just let bygones be bygones for something like that. My personal opinion, yes, Sam is definitely in some trouble. Now, Freddie probably is as well, because although he didn't change a grade, he did go in and tamper with the school's network. I mean, you can't argue that. And technically, he somehow hacked into it, even though they didn't really change anything other than a school menu item, which again wouldn't be in the school's information database. But he did technically hack in. He could definitely be in some trouble, and probably would be in some trouble, either some sort of suspension or worse. But definitely Sam. I mean, she changed a bunch of grades. She probably would not be allowed to come back to this school. She would probably have to go to some sort of alternative school program. Carly, probably not. I mean, she kind of was complicit and participated, but just for simply not telling on Sam, she probably wouldn't be in a whole lot of trouble. Or if she did get in trouble by helping Freddie, maybe an in-school suspension or detention or something, but nothing more than that, if anything at all.
Just hit me with it.
Detention, twice a week for 6 weeks.
Oh.
Sorry, Sam.
Which seems actually pretty generous, a long-term detention like that. Yeah. So in reality, if a student actually got the password of the principal and changed a bunch of grades, she may very well be out of there. I'd be surprised if the student only got suspended, which is probably possible too, just an out-of-school suspension. But a detention, no, that's more than a detention probably. And actually, the principal would probably be in some trouble too. Would he be fired? Probably not. But due to the fact that he just carelessly said his username and password out loud in front of students, and then created a situation where that student was able to get onto his computer and change a bunch of grades, he would probably actually be in some trouble for that as well.
Hey, I gotta learn my lesson.
Time. And another thing, you wouldn't say what her consequence is in front of Carly and Freddie. You just wouldn't do that, because that is technically part of her school record, and you can't divulge that stuff to other students. Now, you may tell Sam, hey, you can tell Freddie and Carly if you want. There's no issue there, but I cannot allow them to hear me say it.
Shall we?
Oh, the computer's still logged in, right?
Let's make
Again?
my detention once a week.
Oh.
Or 2 weeks.
Okay, and she does it again. And at that point, I think she's out of there. Even if you don't suspend her or put her out for the first instance, she goes back and immediately does it again. Yeah, she's probably not coming back at that point. And surely Principal Franklin is going to remember this and see that it was changed to 2 weeks, and then investigate and find out again that it was her. Yeah, that would be a definite problem. All right, well, that's the episode. I actually really enjoyed that one. That one was very entertaining and somewhat realistic. The only thing that wasn't really realistic was Freddie's ability to hack into the school's information database, especially nowadays. That's nearly impossible to do what he did. Now, what Sam did is somewhat possible if you actually said your username and password out loud and then just left the room, and the student knew enough about your information system to log in and do that. Yes, that is possible. Now, most students, I doubt they would have the level of familiarity, even if they gained access, to go in and edit that. But technically, that is possible for her to do. Would she have gotten just a detention twice a week? It's hard for me to imagine that. If she actually changed a bunch of grades, it would probably be a longer term suspension or placement in some sort of other program. But she ended up getting only a detention, and then she went back and changed that, which at that point, it's possible she may be given something much more substantial. But anyway, that's the episode. Did enjoy that one. Keep those recommendations coming. And especially if you're a fan of iCarly, let me know what episode you'd like me to do next. But I'm going to leave the video there. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on School Principal Reacts. Thanks for watching.